So, hi. So I have my transparencies here. I'm going to put them on the exposure unit before we get started, and I'm going to lay them out with the light on so that I can see where everything is set up, because with the red light on, it gets a little more difficult. So I'm going to check with a blank screen, right? There's no emulsion on the screen. It's completely clear. I'm just going to make sure that everything fits inside of the screen. Okay, nothing is too close to the edges, because if it's too close to the edge, it's not going to print very well. So I'm going to move this fish actually a little over. Okay, so I'm happy where this is. Now, I am going to make sure that I have things to put over my screen. So this will help seal the screen to the table, which will make sense in just a second. I'm going to make sure that I have this ready. Everything is ready before the white lights go off. So I feel prepared. This is on. I'm going to make sure that my orange light is on over here. Can you come see the orange light? So, not orange light, orange light. Make sure my orange light is on. Perfect. Okay, Pat, hit the lights. All right, so now we're in red light. So now when I take these out of the box, I am not worried about them getting exposed to white light, because light can turn corners. So even though there's light over there, and you guys can see white light, my screen can't, because light can't bend corners. So that's a cool little fact. All right, so now I'm going to set this on here. You can kind of see through your screen, but not really. And now we are going to put the black piece of paper on top of the screen and two foams on top, and that just makes it like a nice seal to the exposure unit. Now I'm going to clamp it down, and it seems kind of tight when you do it, and it is just glass, but it's totally fine. So now all I have to do is come over here, Molly. Can you see this little button on top? So there's a bunch of bottom buttons. We're not going to touch those. We're just going to hit this button once, and then you're going to see the blue light happen, and it's going to expose for 4 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it is done. So now we're going to just do reverse. We're going to take all of these out. Take my paper off. And now it's exposed. Now, this is totally fine if I want to put this back in here, if I don't want to expose it right away, or if we run out of time today. You can put this back in the cabinet as long as no light hits it. This should totally still be fine. But now we're going to go rinse it out, which means we're going to we don't have to run, but we're going to walk quickly over to the drawing and painting room, and we're going to use the spray booth to wash this out. So follow me. Okay, water is already on because the hose is really, really long. If the hose wasn't long and just looped once around, we would know that the hose is not turned on. So the hose is on, water comes out. We never want to go next to it and go full blast. So you always want to start by just getting the screen wet on both sides. Now we call the flat side the front of the screen, and now I'm just going to spray out the front of the screen. If you guys can already see, my design on there, right? So now we're going to clean it really good. So I'm going to go full blast, but I'm not going to do it on the screen. I'm going to move it to the screen. You never want to go full blast straight on the screen because you can put a hole in it. So now, if we look at the screen, we can see like that where there's blue, where there's no blue, right? That means we washed out all the emulsion in that area. And the places where there is blue means that there's emulsion in the area. So my fish did not expose very well, which is something I've been working with anyway. But these are more like your drawings and exposed and washed out just fine. One thing I forgot to say before we washed out is we used cold water, not hot water. Hot water can like soften the emulsion, and then you can spray through stuff you didn't want it to emulsion. So now we're gonna set this off to dry for one day, and we're gonna print this tomorrow.